Hi all, welcome along to another video on the channel. Good to see you again. Peter Rising MVP here with you for more great Microsoft content. Today I'm going to talk to you about Microsoft Purview, which out of all of the Microsoft security products, you will know is my favorite. I love me a bit of Purview, I do. Strange thing to say. Anyway, I digress. Before we get into the video, I would like you to do me a massive favor and click that subscribe button if you've not already done so. It's free to do so, costs you nothing, takes a second, helps me so much. If you like what you see as well, please click the like button. Do hit that notifications bell as well so you never miss a video if you're going to stick around and become part of the channel. You can also become a member by clicking the join button. Okay, so let's get to the video. As I said, it's all about Purview. It's all about DSPM for AI, data security posture management. Relates to Copilot, relates to other AI tools, and it's pretty cool. Let's see what we think about it. Let's see where it is and check it out right now. So today's topic is DSPM, data security posture management for AI. This is within Microsoft Purview. As you can see, we're already in the Purview portal. I'm in as a global administrator. As always, I recommend that you go in only with the principle of least privilege that you need. Use PIM always. Right, so DSPM for AI specifically. One question I get asked about this is, does it replace AI Hub? Is it just another name for AI Hub? Kind of, sort of, but no, but yes, it includes what was in AI Hub and expands on it. Let's dive in and take a look at exactly what it's all about. Now, you can see on the left, I've got Data Security Posture Management Preview and DSPM for AI there. If I go into my solutions, I can see Data Security Posture Management Preview there. If I go into it, I get an overview of what this is, and it's to get insights and recommendations for protecting your sensitive data. One aspect of this feature is DSPM for AI, which is what we're going to focus on. Related solutions. This is one of the things I really like about the new Purview portal. It shows you all the related solutions that you're going to tie in with Purview. So DSPM for AI, let's get straight in and take a look. What have we got? The purpose of DSPM for AI is to discover and secure AI activity in Microsoft Copilot and other AI apps and keep your data safe and stay on track with industry regulations. You can learn more there. I just happen to have that open, and you can see we've got lots of great content there for you to follow along with. It tells you in the overview here, though, exactly what you need to do to get started. You need to make sure you've got audit activated. Now, I've talked about this on the channel before. Audit is something that should be activated in most tenants post, I think it was 2019 or thereabouts, where it started getting turned on by default. If you've got an older tenant, you need to turn it on. The flyout panel here, if you click on it, it tells you what that's all about, what it's going to do, what happens next. And if you activate it, it can take up to 24 hours for activity to be detected, and your analytics report will start getting populated with data observed in your Copilot environment. Okay, so I've done that. Next step, install the Microsoft Purview browser extension. So I've done this already as well in the previous video I did on AI Hub. I'm certain that I went through that lightweight agent install to put that on my Mac device. So it tells you here what that's all about. Browsing and sharing sensitive data with AI websites can be potentially risky user activity, and the Purview compliance extension for Edge, Chrome, and Firefox collects signals that help you detect when these activities occur. Again, you can get more details there about what that involves, but I've got that on my Mac right now. It's all sorted and complete. So next step, on board devices to Microsoft Purview. I've done this to a point. Those who've watched my videos on this previously will know that my Mac, I've had some issues with this, and I've still not sorted it. I've still not telephoned or logged a ticket with Microsoft to help them, to help me rather get it sorted. So I really must do that. But I've got my devices onboarded to a point, but I've marked that one as complete, and then it gives you all the instructions on how to do that. So you need to onboard your devices. First step you need to make sure is that you're already onboarded to Defender for Endpoint, and then your devices will show up in the managed devices, and you can set up device onboarding for Purview. Just follow along with that. Okay. Extend your insights for data discovery. What you need to do there is follow along the policies that need to be created. And it's going to go ahead and do this for you, which is really, really nice. It's showing here that all of the recommended policies have been created. So the first one is detect risky interactions with AI apps. Insider risk management policy this is. You'll remember it showed earlier on the related applications to DSPM. Insider risk management, which includes communication compliance, is one of those. So detect when users visit AI sites. Insider risk manager policy again gets set up. It tells you exactly what these policies are going to be called. And then finally, we've got a DLP policy, detect sensitive info pasted or uploaded to AI sites. And if you hadn't already done this, if you hadn't created it, it would give you a link to click on and go through and create those policies. So it's nice and simple. And if we scroll down, we can see lots of recommendations for getting assistance with AI regulations, and you can view the details on those. You can protect sensitive data. You can see reports. We'll not sort of drill down onto these too much just now, because I'm going to go through these other areas within DSPM for AI. Let's first look at the recommendations, and we have a list of recommendations here. We've got 3 that are completed, we've got 0 dismissed, and we've got 6 that are not started. So let's see exactly what we've got, what we've done already. And in the completed section, fortify your data security, and it tells you the type of policy this is. It's a data security one. Control unethical behavior in AI, that's an insight into communications, and information protection policy for sensitivity labels. So if you click onto these, it shows you exactly what has been done. You can block elevated risk users from pasting or uploading sensitive data on AI sites. We already saw that. And it tells you that's a DLP policy and what the name of it is. We'll see this all in policies in a minute, actually. Control unethical behavior in AI, detect unethical behavior in Copilot. So it's detect sensitive info when prompts and response activity in 365 Copilot. The policy covers all users and groups in your organization. So the policy name is AI Hub on ethical behavior in Copilot. So you get the gist. It's showing you what has been done. But there are some things here that have not been started. So let's take a look at what else we need to do here. Guided assistance to AI regulations. So what have we here? The following actions empower users to safeguard data during interactions with AI systems. Make sure to complete all of them to maximize safety in AI interactions. Okay, what have we got? Actions to take. Monitor logs for all interactions. So it's these, largely speaking, well, the first one certainly is to manually check things. Access the audit logs, configure search, click on the workload filter, select Copilot, select the sensitive information type, and review search results for any suspicious activity. So this is something I've done actually, and we can take a look at that as we go through, if I remember to do so. I'm not always good at following up on these things. I've learned, so I'll try my very best to go into the things I say I'm going to. Monitor AI actions in other AI apps. So it's showing what the regulations are, as it did on the first one, that this ties into, and the steps. Access DSPM for AI, go to Purview and launch it. We're already in there. Review interactions in other AI apps for sensitive content. So turn on policy. So yeah, I'm happy with that. What about this one? Detect and flag risky AI communication, ensure compliance, prevent leaks, access communication compliance, create a policy, and select Copilot as a location. Okay, so these are manual steps that you need to take to go through and set up relevant policies. So DLP, access data loss prevention, navigate to the policies, create a policies tailored to your organization's requirement, customize the advanced DLP rules, and select teams and chat and channel messages and locations, customize the advanced rules for the required sensitive information types, and then manage retention and deletion policies for AI interactions. So it gives you lots of good instructions and guidance on how to create these policies. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those as complete. You can also view the regulations tied to that here. Is that going to open up? Actually, no, it's opening in Purview. I had expected that to open in a learn.microsoft.com, but this is going to take you right into all of the list of regulations available to your organization that you can work with, and you can add more, of course, as well. But we'll not get sidetracked. We'll go back to where we are. We can dismiss this. We can mark it as complete, and actually, no, I don't want to mark it as complete because that would be irresponsible. I haven't done it, or I haven't diligently checked it. Protect sensitive data in referenced in Copilot responses. So sensitivity labels help protect files, blah, 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 blah. And so unlabeled files and Copilot interaction. So we need to create a data assessment for this. So we can go to DSPM for AI, data assessments, which is down here. We'll get to that. Create an assessment and choose the users, etc., etc. So I'll not go through all of these because I don't want to take up too much time. I want to go through and give you a high level view of this at the moment, and you can see exactly what is going on. So the report section, we can filter this by Copilot experiences, enterprise AI apps, other AI apps, and we can get details on the total interactions over time with Microsoft Copilot. We can view that by detail, total interactions over time with enterprise AI apps. It's got no data available, but I have pasted stuff into AI apps such as ChatGPT. I'm thinking that I'm getting no data there because I still haven't got my device properly onboarded. So that is something we'll need to come back to when I have finally got that sorted out. Total visits, other AI apps, again, it's not showing that. I think I'm only getting the Copilot data. Sensitive interactions per AI app. So we're seeing the breakdown of where Copilot in this case had all full names, had all medical terms and conditions, diseases, all of these sensitive information types when they've been detected. Unethical AI interactions, sensitivity labels referenced in Copilot, user severity activity, and insider risk severity per app. Okay, so you get the gist there. Into policies, and here we can see the DSPM for AI policies that use Microsoft Purview solutions to discover and safeguard AI activity across the organization. And you can see these are nicely broken down into categories. We've got data loss prevention policy. So we've got AI Hub, discover sensitive prompts in AI assistants, and we've got adaptive protection in AI assistants. Let's take a quick look at these, and we get a little highlight of what it is, the name of it, the description, the policy details. If it ever finishes loading, you can immediately investigate alerts right from here. So if we click investigate alerts, it, I think, should take us right into DLP. If I'm going to, yes, data loss prevention, here we go. And we can see any alerts that relate to that. So we've got DLP policy match for email with subject, case, and then a number. Your question was successfully. Let's take a look at this actually. What are the details of this? Let's open that up and take a look. Users who performed the event, support at mail.support.microsoft.com. Okay, that's interesting. You can summarize this using Copilot for security, or Security Copilot, whatever they're calling it this week. I don't have that license because, heck, I'm not going to pay for that. It's going to cost me a lot of money. I don't really need it. So we can view the details instead. Let's see what details we got here for this particular alert, and you can go on and get an overview and manage that alert and see all that good stuff. So and so on and so forth. So again, I don't want to get too distracted. Let's go back to the policies. You can edit the policy in the solution as well. Again, that's going to take you right into the DLP section of Microsoft Purview, which is great. And you can what would really have been nice there if it had gone right into the policy. So which one is it? Microsoft AI Hub. So let's scroll down and find it. Microsoft AI Hub. It's there at the bottom, and I think it was that one. Yeah, it's because it's on. And if we edit that, we can just get a little look at exactly what it is doing. And yeah, there we go. Sensitive content being pasted. Let's click next. I don't have admin units on that. I have that scope to devices. And then what it's going to do is it's going to audit that sensitive data, share to generative AI sites, and it's got all those sensitive info types in there, which is great. Audit, and then it's got upload to a restricted cloud service or access from unallowed browsers, and paste to supported browsers, and you can control that in the usual way. Was that the right policy? Actually, discover sensitive prompts in AI assistants. Let's just cancel out of that, and no, it was this one. Very similarly named one. So let's just quickly edit that one that we were looking at. So create a DLP policy to detect sensitive data across locations and apply protection when the conditions match. So this one, again, scope to devices and block with override for elevated risk users. And you can go in and see all the details of that. So really nice the way it ties into the Purview feature like DLP. So we've got insider risk management here as well. So we have got DSPM for AI, detect risky AI usage. And again, from the overview and the recommendations, it just created this all for me, which was great. So I can go into here, see what it's going to do. Helps calculate user risk by detecting risky prompts and responses in 365 Copilot and other AI apps. It's on, no admin units, all users and groups. Use the policy template, and then we've got the thresholds and the policy indicators. We can edit in the solution. Again, that's going to take us into DLP insider risk management this time. And I've already forgotten what it was called again. DSPM for AI, detect risky AI usage. There it is. My memory, honestly. So let's edit that policy and we can show what it's doing. Risky AI usage, and what we have here is, we've got that template, and we've got, this is the prerequisites. And I mean, I haven't got half of this working, to be honest, because I certainly don't have an HR data connector. I think I've got a communication compliance policy, detecting that inappropriate content in the messages. Devices onboarded, to a point. I've definitely got the Purview extension, the triggering event, the activities include. Okay, we've got our name and description. Again, no admin units, all users and groups. And we can put exclusions in there if we want to. The content to prioritize. Now, it's always good to prioritize content if you can. That's recommended, and you'll get more specific results, but you can choose to not prioritize that content. What's the triggering event? So in this case, I've got user account deleted from Microsoft Entra ID. The policy will start assigning risk scores when a user's account is deleted from Entra ID. So this is a good option to choose if an HR connector isn't set up or not actively connected. And the reason being that obviously if somebody leaves the organization, they might become an insider risk, a risky user. They're going to be deleted. We need to make sure that they're not still getting in and getting competitive advantage, getting access to things they shouldn't. We can add things in here like user browse to a potentially risky website, and we can select which activities to trigger. We'll add that on actually. So what's this one? Inappropriate messages detected by communication compliance. For some reason I cannot select that. So automatically create a communication compliance policy that detects that content and messages. I was pretty sure I'd already done that, but you could create that from here. So I'll not click on that just yet. Apply the built-in thresholds, or you can choose your own thresholds. So you can put those up and down as you need to. And then you can turn on selected indicators. Now the indicators that you're going to be able to see here will depend on what you have enabled and such as fully having your devices onboarded. So you might get warnings like that, and some indicators will be grayed out in that scenario if you don't have certain things completed. So just be mindful of that. Detect options. So sequence detection there. A sequence is a group of 2 or more activities performed one after the other over a period of 7 days that might suggest an elevated risk. So specific indicators are used to detect each step in a sequence, which are organized into 4 main types of activities, which are download, exfiltrate, obfuscate, and delete. So you can select them all. Risk score boosters, you can select risk scores for policy alerts, which might be increased for these circumstances. For example, a medium severity alert might be increased to high. So we could select all there. Activity is above the user's usual activity for that day. So let's go through and look at the detection options, apply the Microsoft thresholds or choose your own, and then you can review and finish. So I actually won't make changes there. I don't want to actually do that at the moment. So it gives you an idea. And that was the DSPM. We've got the Microsoft AI Hub. So there we go, reference to AI Hub, browsing and AI assistance. Let's take a look at what this one is doing. So this one is, we can edit the policy and the solution to see it in more detail. This is a insider risk management one again, browsing and AI Hub and Microsoft AI Hub. There it is. And we can take a look at that and see exactly what it's going to do. Again, fairly straightforward once you get into the habit of doing this. The users and the groups, the content to prioritize the triggering events. So users browse to a potentially risky website, browse to generative AI websites in this case. So there you go. That's what that one is doing. Then we have got, finally, communication compliance. I knew we had this set up, unethical behavior in Copilot. So let's edit this in the solution, and that should take us into communication compliance. And unethical behavior in Copilot, we've got a total pending there, actually. So AI Hub, unethical behavior in Copilot, and I have been in and generated some content in Copilot to deliberately get this. So I think this might be a little bit unsavory, so I'll probably blur it out. But it's actually really hard to generate this and get it to do. So let's see what it actually said. And yes, that's quite unsavory. So conditions detected hate. So, and I've put in a question, what's the difference between A and B? And I'm not going to repeat what I said. And it shows you what Microsoft Copilot said in response to this. So sorry, it looks like I can't chat about this. Let's try a different topic. And what you can do if you get that sort of nasty behavior detected in Copilot, then you can take action on it. You can resolve it if it's appropriate. You can summarize it using Copilot for security. I mean, it's such a short topic that you don't really need that. You can notify someone, you can tag it, you can escalate it and put it for remediation. You can also automate it. So you can put some Power Automate flow onto there as well. The escalation, I was pretty sure, let's just go into that again, that you could escalate that as an e-discovery case. Let's put some text in there so I can escalate it, and let's see what happens. I'll just send an escalation email probably to the designated person. But you can, I'm sure from insider risk and potentially communication compliance in certain situations, you can do an e-discovery case as part of that as well. So really cool stuff though. So and that literally was from, and I remember typing this in. So this was in Microsoft Copilot. Just from this one, it will detect content from Copilot in Word and Excel and that sort of Copilot for M365, shall we say. But if you put content in here and it triggers a match, it will generate a result, and that's where that one came from. So really cool stuff. So that is the policies, and What you'll see here is you cannot create your own specific policies in DSPM for AI because it's going to those other locations. So you could do custom policies for AI-related content in DLP, in insider risk management, communication compliance. You could go and tweak them as you needed to, as you wanted to, but you can't do it directly from here. Okay, what do we have left? We've got Activity Explorer. This is really cool. You can get a good look at all the activity that is matched in here, the Copilot activity or AI activity, if you've got wider AI interactions in there, activity with sensitive info types and more, and you can filter right from the top there. You can get a good graphical representation there of what you've had going on. Now this, I'm just going to collapse the side panel here as we go through this. We get a bit more screen real estate. We can see here we've got two main activity types here on this quite long list now that I've started generating. And these are AI interactions and sensitive information types. Now, there's a story behind this because I've struggled with this with a client at work in that they were puzzled and I was puzzled and many of my colleagues were puzzled and a lot of Microsoft were puzzled about what the meaning of this sensitive info type one was. And it's still a bit, this is not well done in my opinion, and I fed that back to Microsoft and I'll show you why. You get AI interactions, which is great. These are the bit that are easy to understand. So the activity type is an interaction. It shows you the user that did it. It will put a risk level there if it's appropriate, the timestamp, the AI app category. So it's all Copilot here, but it could be others if you've got that enabled. The app accessed in. So you can see a mix of Office here or web chat or biz chat. And then the sensitive info type, if relevant, it will generate a sensitive info type there, only on a line which says sensitive info type. And it's meant to tie to one of those AI interactions, but it, to me, doesn't look consistent. So what it might, let's try and prove this theory or disprove this theory. Before we do this, look at the final columns. Resources accessed. Can we expand that out a bit? Resources accessed, yes or no. Yes or no answers there. And sensitive files referenced, no or yes. So you get the gist. So as you can see, we've got two AI interactions here and then two sensitive information types. But then we've got three AI interactions there and one sensitive info type. Now, what Microsoft told me is that there should be a sensitive info type line generated if there's a sensitive info type detected tied to an AI interaction. So these should be joined together, but it's really not working well for me. This, yeah, it's hard to understand and follow. It's messy, and I'll show you for why. Let's take a look at an AI interaction. So you get all the detail here about the timestamp, blah, 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 the user. You can view more details in Insider Risk Management. The app details, the app was accessed in Office, the name built in Bing web search. And here's the question that I asked. So in DSPM for AI in Purview, how long is the data in Activity Explorer retained for? I couldn't remember this, or I didn't know this, and it answered. So here's another example of how in this preview form, it's not quite there. This information is not available, and it definitely gave me an answer, and it told me the answer, it's 90 days. So learn about when this content may not display. It comes into here, known issues. So the AI interaction event doesn't always display text for the Copilot prompt and response. Sometimes the prompt and response spans consecutive entries. Other scenarios can include Copilot for Word, when a user selects Inspire Me, or when a document doesn't have content, or has content but isn't saved. So there's various reasons by all account. This needs improving, in my opinion. It's not quite there yet. You can go down, you can see the next one. Sometimes this takes a while. There's a political question I asked here. I'll blur that out, just in case it upsets or offends anyone. So, and again, it didn't give a response. Then we get into our sensitive information type. Now, this sensitive information type, if I'm going by what Microsoft told me, should tie into that previous AI interaction. I've got no real means of proving or disproving that, because we've got a record ID there. If I go up, that record ID doesn't correlate. The timestamps don't really correlate, so I'm not buying that. So what it tells you here is that sensitive info types were matched, generating this line. And it tells you about the user, which was me. You can apparently view more user details in Insider Risk Management, which I'll get to in a minute. It tells you the app category and where it was accessed. And here's where you think, oh, I'm going to get details here of what it is. All full names. Okay, I'll click on that and I'll see more detail. But it basically just says all full names again and shows you the confidence level. I can't get any more information on what that relates to, which quite frankly is rubbish. Sorry, Microsoft, but it is. That needs work. Okay, so I thought to myself, oh, maybe I can view more details in Insider Risk Management. So click on that. Let's go and see what we have got. So it takes me into me as a user, and I get anonymized results for things that I've generated. I've done searches here to or reports in Insider Risk Management to generate this. And I ran that, and it can take a long time to generate, despite a particular client's hesitance to believe that it could take up to 10 hours. It can, and more. And on reports, this is where I did this from. So I went into reports, I went into user activity in this case, and I created a user activity report. And you can see I've got two that are there. In fact, this one for Stella Gibson is still running. It's not ready, and that was started 4 days ago. So something's not quite right. So this one was ready, but if I clicked into that and looked at the content that came back from it, you get a e-discovery type experience where you can see the user activity first, and then you can go into the activity explorer where you can see exactly all of the matches, etc., sensitive response, email sent, blah, 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 blah. But nothing matched the timestamp or the what was generated in DSPM for AI. So this needs work. It really does. So I wouldn't be tempted at all to let this out into the wild yet. If you do, be very cautious, be very aware that and that's why it's in preview, I guess. I think, and I fed this back to Microsoft and they've taken on board, so it'll be interesting to see where they go with this next. So that's probably all we need to cover on in terms of what's in this section here. But so I'm a little disappointed in that. At this point in time, work to be done. Data assessments, very keen here to show you that this is in preview as well, but I think this is something that is pretty promising going forward. You can identify oversharing risks here by using data assessments, and they also provide fixes to limit access to sensitive data. So 3 steps to this: create an assessment, choose the data sources and the users you want to assess, evaluate the data, apply the fixes. Nice and simple. So we've got some assessments in here already. We have got oversharing assessment for the week of January the 20th, 2025, which is about a week ago now. Scan completed. We've got a scan in progress, which has been going since the 22nd of January. That seems weird to me that still is going. We've got Peterizing Copilot activity, which I did. So let's take a look at some of this oversharing assessment for the week. Let's see what we've got in here. What results have we got? Alrighty, so we've got our assessment info, total items, none available, no data available, data with sharing links, sources included. Okay, so I selected a few sites from my tenant in SharePoint, and total items assessed, times users accessed items. Okay, fine. Unique user access, total sensitive items, not available. I think this is coming soon, or maybe there just wasn't that content in there. So fair enough. So let's go back to data assessments, and you can create your own here. As you can see, I did my custom assessment there. So you can go in, you can create, you can give it a name. Let's call it name just to be really inventive. You can include specific users or choose all. You can go for your data. At the moment, you can only select SharePoint. You can scope the sites, be specific, or choose all sites. Go next, review and run. So it's that basic at the minute. Again, work to be done. So there you have it. I think that is probably a good place to stop. I think this is promising, but a long way to go. Let's wind up the video and have a little outro chat. So my thoughts on DSPM for AI. A decent start, but work to be done. I think there are things to be added to it and will be added to it, hopefully sooner rather than later, with the pace of AI going the way it is. I've already got customers who are interested in this sort of technology, and because it's not quite there yet, they're frustrated and they're getting ready to look at other options. So Microsoft do need to hurry this up, but also get it right. It's a fine balance, isn't it? But I like the intent. I like where it's going. I think the Activity Explorer order of things is horrid, absolutely horrid, and needs sorting out. I think that sensitive information type line, it's very confusing that is not an item on its own, and it should relate to a AI interaction above or below or somewhere, and it just doesn't tie in instinctively, in my opinion. So it needs work in order to get that out into the wild and to be something that organizations can trust to look at. I think the policies that are there are awesome. I think the way that it can detect, protect, alert, report, I think that's great. But the Activity Explorer, not so good. And there are things like in the data assessments that needs to be filled out as well. But let me know what you think. Have you had a chance to explore it yet and try it out? Have you even added in Copilot for security? I mean, that's not a length I'm going to go to anytime soon, I can tell you. And I don't see many organizations that will at this moment see the value either. Let me know if you disagree. Right, well, let's wind it up there. Give me a massive thumbs up if this has been helpful. If you've enjoyed the video, give a thumbs down if you haven't. It's entirely your choice. But if you have enjoyed it, if you're going to stick around, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell as you do so. Consider becoming a member of the channel as well. You can click the join button to do that and become part of a really growing and loyal community that we're building here. I love my members so much. And you can get access to things like WhatsApp chats and members-only videos and more and more. So thank you for watching. You all take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Travel well. See you soon. Bye-bye.